Did you know that 90% of your child's brain develops before the age of 5? That's right. Those preschool years are crucial. But here's the shocking truth. Most schools miss the skills your child needs most. I'm Denny Strecker, and for example, this happened to Jake. Jake started kindergarten excited and confident, but within a few months, he was having meltdowns, struggling to make friends, and hating school. The problem wasn't academics, it was these essential skills no one taught him. I'm starting a 3-part series on the 8 essential skills your child needs that school doesn't teach. This first video covers the emotional foundation, 3 critical skills that determine whether your child will thrive or struggle. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, simple ways to build these skills at home, and the serious consequences if they're missed. Let's get started. Skill number 1, emotional self-regulation. Your child's ability to understand and manage their feelings. Between the ages of 4 and 6, your child's brain is building the pathways to determine how they handle emotions for the rest of their life. This isn't just about tantrums, it's about creating the neural foundation for everything from learning to relationships. During these years, children transition from co-regulation, where you help calm them down, to self-regulation, where they develop their own emotional toolkit. Research shows that children with strong emotional regulation have the skills to perform 11 percentile points higher academically than those without these skills. The ages of 4 to 6 represent a critical window where children develop the ability to name emotions, recognize body signals, and learn calming strategies. Miss this window, and it becomes much harder to develop these skills later in life. So, what should you look for? Here are the signs your child is developing a healthy emotional regulation routine. Number 1, they can name their feelings beyond just happy or sad. Number 2, they're starting to use simple calming strategies like deep breathing. 3, they recover from upsets more quickly than they did as toddlers. Number 4, they can wait for short periods without melting down. 5, they're beginning to recognize emotions in others. So an example with a child would be, I see you're feeling frustrated with that puzzle. Let's take a deep dragon breath together. In through the nose, out through the mouth like a dragon. Great job. But what happens if this skill doesn't develop? The consequences can follow your child for years. Children without emotional regulation often develop negative self-images, seeing themselves as bad or broken. They struggle to form secure relationships with teachers and peers, and they get labeled as that problem child and face social rejection. Most critically, they can't focus on learning when their emotions constantly overwhelm them. But here's the good news. You can help your child develop this skill with one simple daily practice. Create an emotions check-in routine. Use a feelings chart with feelings showing different emotions. Ask your child to point to how they're feeling each morning and evening. Then validate that feeling and model a healthy response. For example, I see you're feeling worried about your first day of soccer. It's okay to feel worried about new things. Let's take 3 deep breaths together and think about one thing that you're excited about. The second essential skill is social communication and empathy. Your child's ability to connect with others and understand their perspectives. While schools focus heavily on reading and writing, they often miss the foundation these skills are built on, speaking and listening. Research shows that these skills are developed primarily through play and conversation, precisely what's being cut from most preschool and kindergarten programs. Children's social circles expand beyond family at the ages of 4 to 6, and they develop the communication patterns that they're going to use for the rest of their life. Their brains are primed to learn the back and forth of conversation, read facial expressions, and understand other people's feelings. Speaking and listening skills developed between the ages of 4 and 6 are precursors to reading. When we push reading too early and cut playtime, we're undermining literacy development. Here are the signs that your child is developing healthy social communication and empathy. Number one, they engage in back and forth conversations. 2, they're beginning to consider others' feelings. 3, they ask questions about others' experiences. 4, they can take turns in games and conversations. And 5, they notice when someone is sad or hurt. When the skill doesn't develop properly, children face significant challenges. Children with poor communication and social skills often experience rejection and isolation. They struggle to express their needs appropriately, leading to frustration and conflict. They have difficulty working in groups, a key requirement in school later in life. Most concerning, they miss the foundations for developing meaningful relationships. Here's a simple way to build this skill at home though. Practice story swapping at dinner time. Take turns sharing one thing about your day, focusing on feelings. Ask questions like, how did that make you feel? And what do you think the other person was feeling? This builds listening skills, emotional vocabulary, and perspective, taking all of this while connecting as a family. Our third essential skill is resilience and a growth mindset. Your child's ability to bounce back from setbacks and believe in their capacity to improve. This might be the most important skill for long-term success. Yet, many preschool and kindergarten environments now focus so heavily on get it right that children never learn to embrace challenges and recover from failure. Between 4 and 6, children form core beliefs about their capabilities. They're naturally wired to take risks and try new things, but they're also beginning to compare themselves to their peers. The messages they receive during this window shape how they'll approach challenges for decades to come. Children who develop a growth mindset during these years approach learning differently throughout the rest of their life. They see challenges as opportunities rather than threats and understand that abilities can be developed through effort and hard work. Here are the signs that your child is developing resilience and a growth mindset. Number 1, they're willing to try new things, even if they sound challenging. 2, they use phrases like, I can't do that yet, instead of I can't do that. 3, they show pride in effort, not just success in the end result. 4, they recover relatively quickly from disappointments. And 5, they're beginning to problem solve when things don't go their way. For example, if you're speaking with a child, I love how you're trying different ways to make those bunny ears and tie your shoes correctly. That's how your brain gets stronger. What else could you try? When children don't develop resilience and a growth mindset, the consequences can limit their potential. They develop learned helplessness, giving up quickly when faced with difficulty. They avoid challenges or fear of failure. They become perfectionists, terrified of making a single mistake. They also develop a negative self-talk process that undermines their confidence. Perhaps the most limiting is they believe their abilities are fixed rather than developed. Here's a powerful way to build resilience at home. Create a challenge jar. Fill it with age-appropriate challenges, some physical, some mental, some social. Each week, draw one challenge and work on it together. Celebrate effort, strategy, and persistence, not the success. Use language that promotes growth. That was a great struggle. Your brain is getting stronger. What strategy could we try next? So there you have it. The 3 foundational emotional skills your 4 to 6-year-old needs that most schools aren't teaching. Emotional regulation, social communication and empathy, and resilience with a growth mindset. Remember, these years represent a critical window for developing these skills. The good news? It's simple. Daily interactions can make an enormous difference. In my next video, I'll cover the cognitive bridge, 3 essential thinking skills your child needs to develop during these same crucial years. You won't want to miss it. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, share it with other parents that might benefit. Also, I'd love to hear in the comments which of these skills your child struggles with most and what strategies have worked for you. Remember, your child learns between 4 and 6, and that shapes who they're going to become for the rest of their life.